gas, it doesn't need special fuel, it doesn't have an open flame. In fact, you don't even need to buy extra items. All you get is a great solution, and you get a portable power station. There has been an unprecedented need, an overwhelming demand for our power stations here at HSN. We have added this to the show because when you buy an EcoFlow, you can power up, in this particular case, the Delta 2, 90% of your home appliances. Let's talk a little bit right now. How many of you are experiencing a power outage right now? Is it due to some of the storms that are happening? Is it due to a power outage that's just happening in your area, maybe in your county? Is it from forest fires? Is it from hurricanes? Is it from floods? There's a lot of natural reasons why we lose our power. Justin Hyatt. And our first instinct is, when the power goes out, oh, I wish I had a generator. And a generator, well, looks something like this. This is a real generator live in our studios, right?
It's live in our studio. Well, not live, thank goodness, because it's got to be 20 feet outside.
That's true.
But perfect segue, like you were just saying with the Ninja, that needs propane, that needs gas, and we're thinking about even having a smoker. The same thing goes for having an EcoFlow. We always talk about like a disruptor. Remember when we thought, well, everything's gonna be a VHS forever. And then DVDs came out. It's almost like when Blockbuster, we always thought that's gonna be around forever. Then Netflix came around. Well, Blockbuster is the generator in this scenario, and then Netflix is going to be EcoFlow in this scenario because there is a necessity for better things. And when better things happen and evolve, that's what a disruptor is. EcoFlow has been a disruptor, but speaking of just disruptor, this is loud, and this is a disruptor into your whole entire sleeping mode, because if you think about getting one of these, it looks like it just doesn't belong, right? It does need to be 20 feet away from your home, and Sarah, you need to have gas, you need to have the maintenance, you need to have the knowledge of how to use it, and you need to have the confidence, because we often go out and get one of these reactionary, and then what happens? It sits there, waits. There's a lot of other things that that's involved in this. How about just the physical laboring part, getting it out, getting it started? This is my generator. I will admit that this is mine. And you know what? It was under 3 feet of water. Why was it under 3 feet of water? Well, we had that flooding, and I wasn't carrying a 100+ pound generator up the stairs inside my home. But you know what was inside my home? I'm gonna cut right in front of you, Sarah.
Yep.
This, my EcoFlow. Where I was, where it was nice and dry, where it was nice and warm, where I didn't have to worry about running outside to put gas in it. It was easy, it was simple, and I could just carry this and pick it up and take it wherever I want.
So you could have this, or you could have this. And that's what we're going to talk about this hour. And Justin Hyatt is here. He is our expert. He's been a product expert on television with all these great home appliances and really those solutions that we need for every day of our lives. So let me show you what you're going to get today, because you're not just going to get the EcoFlow, which on its own, very similar to a generator, but one that you can actually take indoors. You're going to receive 15 different outlets. So you have the traditional AC ports, you've got the 3-prong outlets, you've got the 2-prong outlets, and you've got the incredible USB-Cs. You have 15 different appliances, devices, from your cell phone to computer to a toaster to a microwave. Everything you need to plug in during a power outage, you can do on the EcoFlow Delta 2. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the Delta 2, which is really one of our premium portable power solutions here at HSN. This is our #1 portable power brand, EcoFlow. Now, that's great on its own for $549.99. But we know during these times of uncertainty, you may want to make an investment in an entire solution for backup power. So we're gonna throw this in. This is your great little extra edition. This is our Powerstrip. So it's got an extra 8 outlets. You can use this indoors, of course, and you can use that every day at your desk or at your bedside table. It's got outlets and the USB ports, but we're also going to give you this, and this is a 110-watt solar panel. So yes, you can recharge your EcoFlow by plugging it in, but let's say there isn't any power. You can actually reboot, recharge your EcoFlow for uninterrupted power when you have a solar panel. Usually we sell the solar panels separately. We're going to put this entire configuration together. It's a $1,400 value. Like $1,000, $400, and $29. So $1,429 value that you are getting today for $549. This is $880 off retail. So we're giving you kind of that little sweet spot. This is one of the most powerful EcoFlows we offer, but it is not the largest. This one, still very portable at 30 pounds. We have larger ones. They're 50 pounds, and they're over $1,000. And they're fantastic if you want to spend $1,800 for the next step up. This one, I think, hits the sweet spot for power and portability. That's why anytime we offer an EcoFlow in this $700, $600, $500 range, it gets very, very popular, and they go very quickly. So I'm gonna give you a couple ways to place your order. You can order online, hsn.com. You have the next 5 months to pay this off interest-free, just $110 a month. We also are gonna take care of the shipping and handling, so that's no extra sweat off your brow. And what's the shipping and handling charge on this one? They're not inexpensive to ship. Yeah, so yeah, it's nearly $24 in shipping. We also have HSN financing on this one. So if you want to space your payments out on your HSN credit card, we can make that really easy. It's $30 a month, so $1 a day. So that's why we call this a hot deal. And it's not every day that we get a hot deal on EcoFlow, one of our most powerful portable stations that we offer here at HSN. So Justin, when we have an opportunity to get really a power station we can have at home, in case the power goes out, and it can happen for so many different reasons, our lights can stay on, right? We can still cook, we can still plug in a fan, we can still plug in our toaster oven, our air fryer, our microwave. What can we plug in with the EcoFlow? It's amazing.
Well, it really is. You know, when we're talking about it kind of, you know, Sarah and I were talking about this, you know, the difference between kind of our River line and our Delta line. A River line, you can do 80%. We love it. It's about having the portability. I love the next step up, which is our Delta 2, because it's going to give you 90%, but it's still going to give you that portability aspect because it weighs less than 30 pounds. The next step up from there is 50 pounds. So I love being able to have the Delta 2 because it allows us to now say, well, what can I plug in? 90% of my home appliances. So what does that mean? That means our lights. That means our fans. But that doesn't mean that's just where it ends. That means then our refrigerator. And by the way, you can see I'm plugging all of these things in real time. And then not only our refrigerator, but then what about a full-size microwave? What about RTS? What about an air fryer? What about a grill? What about an induction burner? All of these different things. And you know what's nice? Because I was even thinking about this, Sarah, as you were talking. You know, we were just talking about the generator. I just pressed one button, and I just turned all of these things on that I just turned on. If we were presenting to you a generator, do you know how much time we'd have to spend on just having to explain how to run the generator, right? Think about that. Well, it's okay. You have the pull crank, you got the push button. Don't worry, you need to have the oil. You need to have we spend all of this time telling you how to run it. All you need to do to run your EcoFlow is press one button. That's it. One button to turn it on, one button to turn it off. To recharge it, you plug it in. It's the fastest recharge rate in the industry, from 0 to 80% in less than an hour and 50 minutes. And then if we don't have any power at home, we still have the ability to use our solar panel that you're getting today as well to recharge it. When this happens, you don't want to be thinking, how am I going to run that generator? How am I going to get it going? How is that gasoline? Is it still good? Is it still usable? When now everything is uninterrupted. We are able to have that power source at home. And so what does easy mean to you? That's less fear of running it, but it's ultimately the comfort. It's the confidence that not only did you invest in something that you know you're going to use, you know you'll be able to. You don't have to worry about depending on somebody. You can depend on EcoFlow. You can depend on yourself. So now we got our light, we got our fan, we got our refrigerator, and I want you to see this. There's no guessing. You get to see every bit of information right here on that display. It's one of the greatest things about owning an EcoFlow is that you don't have to sit and worry, well, how long can I plug this in for? What can I plug in? And you can see all the different things that we're showing you right now. And I guarantee that most of you have probably used all of those things today. And you're going to use them tomorrow. But at any given moment, it's the ifs, it's the whens, that we could be out of power like we are right now. And what do you do? How do you get prepared? We get prepared by making that decision today, because maybe it's not the light or fan, maybe it's not the induction burner, air fryer, refrigerator, maybe it's a full-size microwave. Yeah, this is not a little mini microwave, and there are different size microwaves. This is a full-size microwave. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit 30 seconds. We talked about all the different power. It's the heating elements. It's the idea of all the different money and food that we invested in that's in that refrigerator. Why did we invest it? Well, we need it. We need food, we need water. You know what food and water needs now? It needs power too, just like us. We don't have the big ice chests anymore. We've got refrigerators. Things evolve, things change. We get more and more electronics. We need to feel safe at home. This is one way to know that you will. And I love the fact, Sarah, is that we're not having to go outside. We stay right there in the comfort of our home.
Exactly.
And then we run it in our home.
I mean, I know a lot of people in Florida have generators, but what was the problem? Well, the floods, right? The high tides. Everybody who had a generator sitting in their garage or somewhere on their property suddenly found their generators were underwater. So it's great if you have a generator, and you can even use your generator to reboot your EcoFlow, but what are you gonna use on the inside? That's what I love about this. Also, I'm wearing a dress and heels, which is a very nice outfit, by the way, by our Gray by Sebastian Gray collection. But let's say there was a power outage, and I just happen to be walking around in my Doris Day outfit in my dress and heels, which obviously I would never wear at home. But the last thing I would do would be to try to hook up a generator, pour in the gas, deal with the fumes, and somehow figure out how to run this bad boy. I'm intimidated just looking at it. But what I could do was say, honey, it looks like the power's gone out. Don't worry, I'm gonna cook up a food, and I'm gonna cook up a steak, and I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry my hair and look fabulous and glamorous while doing this, all in the comfort and the privacy of my own home, because we have the EcoFlow that at 30 pounds, I can go ahead and pull out of a closet, a cupboard. You might even just wanna keep this right under the bed. And that way, when the power goes out, you already have your lights plugged in, or maybe you have your cell phone that needs charging. It's the simple things in life that keep us connected. And if you are concerned about the power going out right now, or maybe it's happened over the last few days, there's been a lot of devastating storms that have swept through our country. There have been devastating forest fires, not only in California, but throughout the Southwest. My family's in Colorado. We cross our fingers every single time there is a fire in the mountains, you know, near our precious home and near the places that we love to visit. During those moments, if you are anticipating a power outage, I want you to ask yourself, what's your plan? Is your plan just to kind of hunker down with candles and hope that you got a sleeping bag in the basement? Well, there's a better way, and the better way is to have a plan. And that way you have that peace of mind. You have that extra insurance policy like, hey, no matter what, I could plug in my electric blanket, I could cook up my food, I've got a little hot pot, or I've got a little burner I can plug in. I can go ahead and make that oatmeal, make a cup of coffee, I can keep the kids happy, I can keep our cell phones charged, I could plug in a television or anything else I needed, like a radio, to keep up with the weather and the news. This is how we stay connected. We stay connected through our devices. Our devices need power. I'm barely good at keeping my cell phone powered throughout one day. Have you ever noticed halfway through the day, you're like, oh, I forgot to charge my cell phone. I hope I make it home before anybody's trying to reach me. That happens every single day. But do you think you're gonna be able to get through a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days? Some of our neighbors here in Florida have experienced power outages for weeks. And you know what's expensive? Trying to stay in a hotel just because they have power, or trying to get to maybe another place where it's safe. Maybe you're looking for shelter or staying with friends and family. It can get a little crowded. And even if you do go to a shelter, it's a good idea to bring your EcoFlow, because guess what they're not gonna have in that church or that school or that empty building? They're not gonna have enough power outages. They're not gonna have enough power outlets for everyone. That's the perfect time to say, I'm gonna get an EcoFlow. This is a very special offer. Justin and I were talking before the show. The value on this one is $1,400. Did I get that right? Over $1,400? Well, can't remember the last time we have saved you nearly $900 off EcoFlow. Nearly $900 you're not spending. So you're actually saving more than you're spending. The next step up would be $1,800 in the EcoFlow world. This is one of their Mac Daddies. This is powering 90% of your home appliances, 90%, and it's still portable. So it's kind of that little sweet spot, kind of like the Goldilocks of EcoFlows. And we don't always offer it with the solar panel, so now is a really good time. The solar panel keeps uninterrupted power going to your EcoFlow. So if you can make a decision today, we've got the hot deal. I don't know how long the hot deal will last. Sometimes they're here today, they're gone tomorrow. Sometimes they last a week, sometimes they last a month. But I do know that our EcoFlows consistently sell out. And if you can put this on your HSN credit card, it'll be as affordable as $30 a month. That's a small price to spend, small price to pay, Justin, for that peace of mind. Because whether you're by yourself and you're not sure who can come help you, or perhaps where you're going to go when the power goes out. You need a solution.
Well, I think, you know what, even just, look, you can call me an expert all you want. I get the idea, and I just listening to Sarah, you know, yes, have we done this presentation over and over? Yeah, but you adapt to where you live. You know, she and I used to live in Minneapolis. The idea, and I had one, of a generator out in the middle of the snow, and then it's a foot of snow, and then it's 2 feet of snow, and then, oh, by it's high wind, and now it's negative 30 degrees outside. But we have to decide, right? How are we going to get ready for different situations and different scenarios? Whether you're living here in Florida, we know that we're going to have these different hurricanes. You have to adapt. Whether you're in the Midwest, you have high winds, you have high snow, snow blizzards, snow storms. You've got tornadoes. The tornadoes that happened just in the past 72 hours. Last presentation earlier today, we were in the middle of a tornado warning here. We never know what's going to happen, but I always say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So then when happens, what do? How nice would it be to just say, I can pick this up, I can take this with me, I can go room to room, and that I am going to use it. And I always say, yes, is it an investment? It absolutely is. But what are you investing in? You're investing in at least the next 10 years of your life, because this isn't old technology. This is the newest battery technology that is on the market, something called LifePo. What that means to you is it lasts longer, charges faster, it's going to be even more affordable, and it's lighter weight. All of the things that you would expect to be of the next thing, but it's going to cost you less money. So all these different things that you're wanting when you're investing, and I want to go back to the part where I said it's going to last longer. On our original EcoFlows, they would have roughly about 300 life cycles. That would mean if I was to deplete it and recharge it roughly about a year, that would mean I would have it only charged from 0 to 80%. Sarah, we just added a 0. It's 3,000 life cycles, meaning if you were to charge this, deplete it once a day, it would take you 10 years before it only reached 0 to 80%. So what does that mean to you? That's 10 summers, that's 10 winters, that's 10 springs, that's 10 autumns. All of these different years that you're gonna go through knowing that you invested in something that's gonna last you a very long time, and half of which is gonna be backed by a warranty, not a 1 year, 2 year warranty, a 5-year warranty, and not just from a brand. There is something very significant knowing that you're getting the #1 brand. You're getting EcoFlow, especially when it comes to something where you're saying, I want to be dependent. It's going to be home backup power, full home backup power, powering all my different things that I've got at home. I want to make sure that not only am I going to do it with the right brand. EcoFlow is the #1 power brand here at HSN and the #1 power station brand in the United States. When we first started, we were in 1 country. Just a little bit ago, we were in 110. Today, we're in 140 different countries. You know why? Because all the different states we have here, all the different countries in the world, we all depend on what? We depend on power. You know who they are all now depending on? EcoFlow. Giving alternatives and solutions to everybody who needs it. We need to be able to feel confident and comfortable that there is a way, no matter where we live in the world now, that we're gonna be able to say, I can use that and I will. And although we say yes, is it gonna be for the emergencies? Absolutely. But you know, for the times that you're not using it for an emergency, you're gonna be using it for so many fun things, whether it's tailgating, whether it's finding the different ways to go outside and use the different tools in the garage, have a TV outside, have the projector outside. So Sarah, yes, you invest in that percent, that 1% where it is the emergency. The 99% of the time for the fun stuff, taking it to the pickleball courts, wherever you decide to take it. When you invest in one of these, what's gonna happen with that? I've seen it. It sits and it waits, and it sits and it waits, and then that emergency happens, and you go to use it, and then it doesn't work. You know why there's a lot of car mechanics? Because things happen to machines. This is a machine. Yes, this is somewhat of a machine, but this is the newer version that you are gonna know. You don't need a mechanic. You just need one touch of a button, and you're gonna use it every day if you need to.
I'm wondering, do we have that form that we can pull up that shows all the different things this can power up? Because I really want everyone to understand. This is not like one of those little extra cell phone batteries you throw in your handbag because you're going on a flight. Talk about what we can power up, Justin. And we've got this great graphic that's on our screen.
Yeah, I mean, I love this because when you look at it, it's everything you use every day. You know, again, when we're thinking about what are we not going to be able to use, and I understand you, sometimes you might be sitting there and you might be on the fence. How about that refrigerator? And when you look at these different things that you can plug in, look at the wattage and look at the time. For those of you who are not close to the refrigerator, I'll tell you, that refrigerator says the TV, not the refrigerator. That says 17 hours. For a television, that says a little bit less than 5.5. I've used mine for close to 10 hours, so I'm not sure what TV that is. A microwave. Be able to use a microwave for almost 2 hours. A blow dryer, as you were saying, Sarah. It would be nice to know that I can get dressed up for work and have my hair all done and ready. Maybe not mine, but yours. A coffee maker, absolutely. Make your coffee. All these different things. We always say, yes, it's nice to know that we have them, but you know what? It's the uninterrupted feeling of life. Knowing that at any given time that can happen. You might say to yourself, I would like to have a cup of coffee.
Right.
I would like to be able to stay warm. I would like to make sure that refrigerator stays cool. Those are the things that, you know what, if you got a generator, great. If it's 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, why be uncomfortable? Why feel like you don't have something at home that you decided today to have in that emergency? And that emergency might just be 5 hours. Don't feel like you're just helpless for 5 hours. For those 5 hours, have the power in your house, in your apartment, in your condo, wherever you might be, and your conventional home, wherever you might be.
And you're so right about that. You might not know that it's only going to be 5 hours, because when the power goes out, you actually are full of uncertainty, right? And you start to get stressed, you start to get nervous. What if the power is still out at dinner time? What am I going to cook the kids? What if the power is still out at bedtime? It's going to get dark. Do I have enough candles? Do I have enough flashlights? What if the power is still out when I have to get up and go to work in the morning? That means I can't see. That means my alarm clock's not on. That means I'm running out of juice on my cell phone, and that means I can't blow dry my hair, and I can't plug in my electric toothbrush. These are all the things that are so nerve-wracking. When the power goes out, there's never any certainty of when it's going back on. During our hurricane season here last year, which, by the way, is just about 2 months away, the official start of hurricane season, if you're in the southern states, and of course we know that affected many of the central southern United States all the way up into Asheville last year. Some of them were so uncertain about when the power was going back. They were following the power trucks across town. And then everybody was reporting on cell phones, I see the power trucks. They have reinstalled the power on 114th Street South. And everyone's like, yay, they're 1 block closer. I mean, this is all the news that the residents in my county had. Literally, where were the power trucks? And then trying to report via social media. This is your power truck. And it's right there at your home. It's right there to help you out. And if you need to evacuate, take it with you. Think about someone that you love that might be in danger of losing their power for any reason. A hurricane, a flood, a forest fire, just inclement weather. Sometimes there's brownouts, sometimes there's rolling blackouts, sometimes they're anticipating fires because of the high threat, extremely dry conditions. They will purposely cut all the power to some areas. It happens in California all the time. What is your backup plan? Think about this for a mother, a father, grandparents. Think about this for an aunt, an uncle, a family member who lives on their own, maybe someone who you can't get to in enough time, and say, you know what, sis, I'm thinking of you. In case the power goes out, you should have an EcoFlow. Let me tell you why this is the best time to buy EcoFlow. We present these very frequently here at HSN, but we don't always have a hot deal. Hot deal means we have an extremely significant value. And when I say nearly $900 off, that's a big deal. $900 off, $880 to be exact. That means you are saving more than you're spending. So when it breaks down, you're looking at a $1,400 value. And we're including the solar panel, and you're getting the extra power strip. So this is uninterrupted power. You can harness the powerful rays of the sun. It turns it into solar power. You can keep that connected to your EcoFlow, or if and when you drain your EcoFlow, you can also plug it back in. All right, I just got some important news that I've been investigating. This is possibly the lowest price we have ever offered. So I'm really thrilled for you on this one. I don't think we've ever done this at $549.99. A $1,400 device with all the extras, $549.99. But here's something else I want you to consider. There's an extra battery available, Justin, and we just wanted to make this available for everybody. I want you to explain why they would pick up the extra battery, and can it convert more power to our EcoFlow?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things about especially the newer Delta. This is the Delta 2. So what we did is we actually added that additional port. So you see that extra battery right there. What that does is it not only doubles, it triples the amount of time that you can run all of the different appliances, because essentially that's 2 extra batteries in one, that you would simply just have one cable that you go ahead and you connect from that extra battery to your Delta 2, so everything that you see that we're running. So for instance, if it was 20 hours for the refrigerator, now it's 40, 60 hours for your refrigerator. So when we do these Delta 2s and we have these extra batteries available, which is not all the time, they go very, very quickly because it just makes sense. And there you go. We're showing that. Thank you, guys. We're showing you that extra battery port. You just open that up. It's one cable. You connect it. So for just a little bit more to get that extra battery, and then you just know, again, having that peace of mind, it's like having 2 additional extra tanks of gas, but it's not gas. So that's why it's really, really popular.
Okay, so I'm doing the math. If you get the extra battery, it's like getting 3 EcoFlows.
You know what? Yes.
In a way, because
actually, you're
the
absolutely
extra battery is twice the amount of backup power as the EcoFlow itself. Now, you can always just buy an extra EcoFlow. But I just want to put everything in perspective for you because that may be just exactly what you need. But that extra battery always goes very quickly, and it's on sale. The extra battery, the regular price, is also like $1,400. We're doing that for $799. So that's another extreme value. Here's what I want to suggest. I know this is a considered purchase. I know it's not every day you wake up and go, I think I'll buy an EcoFlow for $549. I'm very aware of that. I watch my wallet as much as you do at home, and I know my family does. But my family has made a great investment in EcoFlow. In fact, during the hurricanes, many of my neighbors who know that I'm a host here at HSN said, hey, I got my EcoFlow, I'm good to go. Everybody was very confident in my apartment building. We were ready. We were ready for the storm. We were ready for the uncertainty because everybody had a plan. And when you have a plan, you have that. You have that certainty. You have that little insurance policy. You have that peace of mind. You can rest just a little bit easier. You can sleep just a little bit longer because guess what? The kids can plug in their devices, keep them entertained. You can keep track of the weather, the news, everything that you need, your communication, your cell phones, your laptops. I'll tell you why a lot of people are buying EcoFlows because they work from home now, Justin.
Yeah.
And more Americans than ever have a remote job, or maybe you just always have to be checking in. What happens when the internet goes down in my building? My husband's hair is like on fire. He's like, I have this meeting, I have this big important call, I've got to meet with these clients, I have to interview this person, and then all of a sudden, he's trying to figure out where does he go to do his job if our whole building, or maybe our whole neighborhood, or our whole town has lost power. If you have EcoFlow, you can keep that laptop running. You can keep your phone calls going. You can check in on that Teams meeting or make that Zoom call. You can do everything you need. So if being connected is really important to you, maybe you're someone who's in sales, you're a realtor, you work 9 to 5, but you're remote, this keeps you connected to your home base and your home office all at the same time. So there's a lot of great reasons to buy EcoFlow. Also, my outdoorsy friends and family love it for camping. Go ahead and take this to the campsite. Put it in your SUV, put it in your Jeep, put it in the trunk of your car. If you're an outdoorsman, you love hunting, you love camping, you love fishing, take your music. People love it for tailgating, Justin. They plug in not only music, you can plug in your hot plates and you can make your sausages and your pancakes and fry up some bacon at the game, and you can have an entire party happening right here. You can actually blend frozen drinks by the pool if you have an EcoFlow, right?
If we're making pancakes at the tailgate, we're starting early.
Yeah,
we might not make it into the game.
It's entirely possible.
But you know what? But you're right. This is what we bring to the tailgate. And you know, it's amazing. It's always a great reminder to me every time we do this, is because when we go out there to the tailgate, how many people say, what is that? You know, and although we've been presenting this now for 6, 7 years, it's always a great reminder to me that for a lot of you watching, you've never seen anything like this before. You know, when we sit here and say, well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? Because I get it. You've maybe never known anything like this exists. We have the idea of what a backup generator is, propane and or gas. But you can't have that. When we say, why don't you? Well, Justin, I can't own a generator. I don't feel confident to have the generator. I don't live in a conventional home, so if I live in an apartment or a condo, we're not allowed to have one of those. So what do? Well, that's why you get an EcoFlow. You know, I was sitting here and I was thinking, Sarah, you know, I got a Ring camera not that long ago. And when you get the Ring cameras, the security cameras, you download the app, and now you're part of this Ring community. Do you know how many times I get the little question, the alerts from the Ring community saying, is anybody else's house out of power? Did anybody here on this street lose power? When we think, well, it's not going to be us. I can tell you how frequently it happens right there. And yes, you know what? You brought up a great point. You know why, you know, so many people outside of just the emergencies pick up an EcoFlow? Because it's also something called an EPS, emergency power source. So you're sitting there, you're working. You're sitting there right now and you're watching us on TV, or you're in the middle of sleeping. right now, maybe not right now, but later, right? And then the power goes out. How nice would it be to know if you got your EcoFlow plugged into your TV, your EcoFlow plugged into your desktop computer and your monitor and your router, your EcoFlow plugged into your CPAP machine and your EcoFlow plugged into the wall, that as soon as you lose power, your EcoFlow knows you lose power in 30 milliseconds, automatically continues to power whatever you've got plugged in. So, home office, CPAP, the fish tank. In fact, that's what we did. We knew that we had to evacuate. We had to leave the fish there, but we were worried that, well, how long is it going to be able, what are we going to do about the fish tank? We plugged the EcoFlow into the wall and then the fish tank into the EcoFlow. So even when we weren't at home, we were able to use our EcoFlow. All of these different ideas, trust me, you are going to find ways to use it. We talk about the CPAP machine because, yes, it is all about medical devices as well. How many people have come up to me and say, Justin, been looking for a way for camping, hunters, always saying, we want to be able to do these things, but if we're going to be ice fishing,
I need to inflate my air mattress.
If we need to inflate the air mattress, all of these different things, how are we going to do it? We're not bringing a generator with us. We're not going out into the middle of the woods. Something that weighs less than 30 pounds as opposed to something that weighs over 100 pounds.
Right.
Bring your CPAP machine now with you and now be able to sleep easy by having this, a $700 investment. Maybe it's a dialysis, an oxygen machine, it's a nebulizer, all of the Murphy's Law that happens. It's always, I always say, when the good time to run out of power is? Never, right? There's never a good time. We talk about Murphy's Law, but knowing that we have something that can run our CPAP machine, and yes, even all the warm stuff. We talked about the blow dryer, but also the heating blanket. I do not recommend only thinking of having a space heater. If you have a heating blanket that you picked up from here, maybe it's a warm and cozy, this is one of the best things that you can use to stretch out your power for a longer period of time and keep yourself warm. It is cold everywhere nearly in this country right now. We're thinking about how do we stay warm. This is a great way to do it. Also, for any of you who have picked up any of the different portable air conditioning units that we have here as well, plug that into your EcoFlow so you can stay cool. Remember, it's not just a year, it's the next at least 10 years of your life that you're going to be able to power this summertime, spring, winter, and then do it all over again. I'm just listening to you say 2 months from now, it's going to be hurricane season again. It feels like hurricane season just ended.
I know.
So we're already back into the thick of these things. You have to consider it's season after season. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared.
I know. And we're having more sort of uncertainty in the world of weather, right? I mean, we're experiencing forest fires in our country in the spring. When was the last time we've been worried about deadly forest fires in the spring? These are the things that are happening now, and it doesn't really matter where you live. It's just a matter of time, right? It's not if, it's when. When could you lose power? Also, wherever you go, you can bring your EcoFlow with you. So this is important if you need to refrigerate your medicines. This is important if you need to refrigerate maybe the milk for the baby. This is important if you need to keep those CPAP machines and medical devices running. This is most important for running your communication. And whether you're afraid you're going to get hot or cold, this could be life-saving. And I say that with a lot of consideration because there was some very serious snowstorms over this last winter season, and there were pileups on the highway. People were trapped in their cars for hours in the freezing weather. If you had an EcoFlow in your trunk, if you had an EcoFlow in the back of your SUV, you could plug in a heating blanket. These are the little things that might help you through one of those challenging times. So think about all the ways you're going to use this. Also, with this incredible price, which is really the sweet spot for EcoFlow, our next sort of level up is over $1,800. If you want to go to the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max, you're looking at an $1,800 investment. Now, it powers up a little bit more, obviously, but it's still $1,800. You could still power up 90% of your household appliances and get this fabulous hot deal price at $549, which is nearly $900 off. If you use this twice, you could have it pay for itself. And you're like, well, Sarah, how would that work? If I use it twice, how am I getting any money out of this? If you use it twice and it saves you all the food that's in your refrigerator and your freezer right now, it could easily save you $549. I feel like every time I go to the grocery store, Justin, it's like $200, right? For 1 week's worth of groceries. If we just talk about the eggs and the salmon and the ground beef that's in the freezer, right? It adds up. If you use this 2 to 3 times, it could actually pay for itself. Because I know the first thing everyone worries about, what about my groceries in the freezer? What about my groceries in the refrigerator? Are we going to lose those? well, you could start cooking them up and you can keep them fresh when you have an EcoFlow. So now's the time to place your order. We're going to give you a moment to sort of process all of these orders because we are getting very, very busy. But what you're getting is an incredible value, $1,400 off. We're including the solar panel, the Powerstrip, everything you need, and free shipping. It's a hot deal you don't want to miss. We'll be right back after this.